Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh and good day to each and everyone. Okay, so this would be the continuation of our discussion from last meeting, which is the basic approach where we can uh, where we can simplify and evaluate the different circuit characteristics and by using that methods, we can actually solve the different complicated circuits, okay, based on what is being required in that particular problem, okay. So, so in here, no, this will be the continuation. So this is more on properties of a circuit where we consider that properties and at the same time we use that properties in order to further simplify the complexity of the circuit. Okay, so yun yung concern natin dito. Okay, so to simplify and concisely the evaluation of a circuit. Okay, so we have here to study the linearity property, the superposition, the source transformation, and Thevenin's theorem and Norton's theorem. Okay, so these five concepts here have very important applications when it comes to simplifying the complexity of a circuit. Okay, so by the way, um, I'm so sorry with the intervening sounds. Okay, behind my voice, it's because of some noisy here, no, in my vicinity. Okay, so hindi ko sila pwedeng ikuan, no, i-opposites because hindi pwede talaga. Okay, so I'm so sorry. So but anyway, no, siguro my voice naman is enough clear enough for you to understand the information that we are saying here. Okay, but so let us proceed. Okay. So once again, we will be having here the linearity property, the superposition, the source transformation, and the Thevenin's theorem and the Norton's theorem. Okay. So So now, let's start here in linearity property. What do you mean by linearity property? Okay, so hindi ko na 'to babasahin but an overview na lang yung sasabihin ko. Okay, so for linearity property, those circuit where you can actually simplify it without involving any quadratic equation or uh, any equations where you can use the method on how to simplify quadratic equation. Okay, so it means that this linearity property is purely linear. Okay, so the equations, the properties of the circuit, and the characteristic involved in the solving problem or in this consideration are all linearly implemented. Okay, so just like for this here equation, no, ito yung pinaka-linear na origins ng equation na gagamitin natin dito. So we have here voltage is equal to IR, or we have here K, IR is equals to KV, where K and K here is the proportionality constant. Okay, so it means that um, even you increase the value of right sides and the value of right sides, the left sides here in this equation will also increase. So that is the meaning of linearity equations or linearity properties of a linearity properties of a circuit. Okay, so yun. Ito yung definition natin. Okay? So, basahin na lang natin yun siya. Okay. So, example number 1. For the circuit given in figure here, find I sub O when Vs is 12 volts and Vs is 24 volts. Okay, so you ask to find the value of I sub O here when the voltage Vs is equal to 12 volts and Vs is equal to 24 volts. So as you can see here, this equation, this circuit is purely linear. It's because wala tayong involving na capacitor dito or inductors. Okay, so you will know about that one later. Okay, so as you can see here, uh, only involving quantities here or circuit here are circuit component here are only purely resistive. So that's why this circuit is purely linear. Okay, so when it comes to solving it, okay, and having equations or having various equations to solve that one, as you can see here, it is purely linear. So wala tayong nakikitang square dito. Okay, so this first equation can be have or can be solved using this loop here. So we have here um uh at at Vs is equals to 12 volts muna tayo. So we have 12 volts and then minus 4i2 kasi 4 yung kuha natin dito, yung 4 ohm, then the current will be I1 and I1 minus I2. So I2 then Vs, okay? Then 12 I1 kasi 6 plus okay, yes, wait lang. What do you mean this one? Applying KVL to the two loops, we obtain Um, okay. So 6 plus 2 plus 4, simplify na siya. That will be 12i1, no? 6 plus 2 plus 4, that will be 12, then multiplied by i1. So ito yun siya, 12i1. And then minus i2, no? Kasi yung i2 natin is, yung loop na i2 natin is nag-a-act din dito. That will be negative 4i2, no? 4 times i2. So then plus vs, kasi nga, no? Kung maglo-loop tayo rito, ang first na ma-encounter natin would be the positive sign of this source voltage. That would be for plus, no? So, plus Vs. Then this sa loop naman dito, we have here negative Vs, no? Ito negative Vs kasi kung mag-loop ka rito, ito yung direction mo. So ang first na ma-encounter mo dito sa source na to is negative. So negative Vs, and then for this would be in add na din nito siya itong 4, 8 and 4, that will be 8 16i2. Okay, 16i2, and then since yung i1 is nag-a-act din dito sa branch na to, the same with i2, that will be minus 4i1. Okay, so 4 minus 4i1, and then Vs, and then plus minus 3Vs, ito yun siya. Okay? So, since kung maglo-loop ka rito, ang first na ma-encounter mo na naman dito is negative, so that will be negative 3Vx. Okay? Then, take note that this 3Vx have, we call this one as dependent source. Bakit? Kasi nakadependent lang siya dito sa value ng voltage across these 2 ohm. So, kung ano man yung value dito, yun din yung value ng source natin. Okay? So, based on this one here, sabi niya, but Vx equals to 2i1, no? 2 multiplied by the i1 here. No? That will be the voltage across this 2 ohm, which is nakadependent doon itong 3Vx na to. So, that's why in here, itong equation na to, papalitan natin to siya ng yung Vx dito, papalitan natin ng 2i1, and then simplifying that one, ito na yung magiging equation natin. Negative 10i1 plus 16i2 minus Vs. Okay, so meron natin yung dalawang equation. Okay, so as you can see here, itong dalawang equation na to, ito at saka ito, are all um, linear. Okay, so you can solve that one using substitution or elimination. Okay, so linear talaga yun siya. So, one properties of linear equation is can be solved using just substitution or elimination method. Okay, kung hindi mo yun siya ma-solve into using substitution or elimination method, it means that it is not a linear equation. Okay, so here, this is linear equation kasi nga pwede mo siyang i-solve into directly substitution. Okay, so and so forth. After that, makukuha mo na yung ating I1, value ng I1 natin and yung value ng I2 natin. Okay? Then at the same time, makukuha mo yung I sub O, which is the current being asked here in this problem. Okay? So, yun. Okay, so once again, no, this is the practice problem. You will have to solve this one. Once again, um, once again, basta sinabi nating linear, it is a circuit where you can solve all pertaining equations using just linear equations. Okay, so yun. Okay, so problem number example number 2, so this is also linear, so all you have to do is only to use nodal analysis here. Dito ginamit natin dito is mesh kasi nga meron tayong konti lang yung ating branches na konti lang yung ating loop equations. Dito naman gagamit tayo rito ng uh, nodal kasi nga dalawa lang yung node na mako-consider natin dito. And kung magme-mesh tayo rito, mahihirapan pa tayo. Okay? So, ito siya mas simplified kung gagamit tayo ng nodal analysis na lang kasi dalawa yung nodes natin dito, which is pag dalawa yung nodes natin, dalawa yung equations na makukuha natin na i-handle natin para makuha natin yung required na quantities. Okay? So I hope that you have already understand what we have saying here. Okay? So yun lang yung importante about um, linear circuit. Okay? So, recall ha, okay? Uh, Once again, pag sinabi mong linear circuit, those circuit which involves only resistances and sources, yun lang ha, resistances and sources. And in terms of its solving problems, yung pag sinabi mong linear, yung lahat lang ng magagamit mo na equations are all linear. Okay? So, wala kang quadratic equation dyan na makikita. Okay? And um, another properties is pag sinabi mong linear, isa siyang it can be solved using just simple substitution method or elimination method. Okay? So yun lang. Okay? So yun yung ibig sabihin ng linear circuit. Now, why is it that we first describe or introduce the concept of linear circuit? It's because we can apply superposition method. Okay? So pag yung circuit mo is linear, we can actually apply superposition method. Okay? So what do you mean by this superposition method? So hindi ko na 'to babasahin. Ang ibig sabihin lang ng superposition method is just kung meron tayong maraming sources in just one circuit, ang gagawin natin to solve a certain quantity is to turn off simultaneously those sources and mag-on tayo ng iisang sources lang at one time. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, at one trial, i-off natin lahat ng mga sources na nandoon sa circuit and then i-on natin yung isa. Okay? Same so on and so forth. Hanggang sa maubos lahat ng sources na or matry mo lahat yung mga sources na nandoon sa circuit mo. Okay? So anyway, meron naman tayong steps dito so you can just rely on it. Okay? So yun lang ibig sabihin nun. So for example number 3. We have here, use the superposition theorem to find V in the circuit in figure this one. Okay, so we have here solution. So as you can see here, this circuit have two sources. No, we have here the source voltage, which is 6 volts, and the current source, which is the 3 ampere. Okay, so what we have to do here is just to turn off, the first trial is to turn off this this current source and only this 6 volts remaining, and then hahanapin natin yung V, no, since yun yung hinahanap. And then after that, after the trial, we will turn off this naman, itong 6 volt na to, and we let this 3 ampere to function or to have its source to these different sources, different um, resistances. Okay, then after that we have to sum up their effects on this voltage across this 4 ohm, and then after that yun na yung voltage across this one due to these two sources. Okay, so as I have said, no, ganun yung gagawin natin. For example, no, we have here V, yung voltage dito V is equals to V1 plus V2, where V1 is the voltage across this 4 ohm as 6 volt functioning while 3 ampere is turned off. Okay? Then V2 naman is yun yung voltage natin sa 4 ohm while these 6 volts while these 6 volts have been turned off and this 3 ampere let functioning. Okay? So, yun. Then after that, makukuha mo na yung total voltages. Okay? So as you can see here, no, all we have here is linear calculation. Okay, then after that we sum up the value of V1 and V2, then that will be the voltage across these 4 ohm due to these sources, itong dalawang source na to. Okay? So meron tayong practice problem dito, so same problem pa rin. Meron tayong 8 ampere and 20 volts. So once again, gagawin natin is turn off this one, then turn on this, and after that, that second trial is turn on this and turn off this one. Okay? So, yun. So, So, ito naman, itong example na to is tatlong sources. Okay? But take note here that this dependent source here uh, cannot be considered to be dependent independent source. Ibig sabihin, kung gagawin mo yung superposition method, you will neglect this one. Okay, so hindi mo na to gagalawin. Okay, unlike dito sa dalawang independent sources na to, na i-off mo muna to siya, saka ito siya is magfa-function. After the trial, ito na naman yung ipa-function mo, ito na naman yung i-off mo. Okay, so you will perform na naman yung calculation. Pero dito sa dependent sources, hindi mo na yun siya gagalawin. Okay, take note of that. So, ganun pa rin yung calculation sa taas, same pa rin yung calculation sa taas. Okay? So, ayun. Meron naman tayong another practice problem here. Okay? So, another problem. So, we have here uh, three involved, ano yun? Three involved sources. Then, once, same pa rin, gagawin mo is, ito turn off mo yung yung dalawang sources, then ito lang ifa-function mo, then after that ito na naman yung turn on mo, then ito na naman yung turn off, after that is ito na naman yung turn on, ito na naman yung turn off. Okay, so by the way, no, hindi ko nga pala nasabi. Okay, pag yung source voltage is i-turn on, ang mangyayari sa circuit is magiging shortage, okay, or shorted. Pag yung current source naman is turn off mo, ang mangyayari doon is magiging open circuited. Just like for this one, no? So, kung ito turn off mo to siya, kung aalisin mo yung 6 volts na yan, ang mangyayari dito sa connection dito is magiging shorted. So, ibig sabihin, connected na to siya diretso. Okay? Then, pag ito naman i-turn off mo, ito naman i-turn off mo, ang mangyayari dito is open circuited, okay, or mawawala itong connection dito, just like this one, okay, naging open circuit siya rito, okay, so yun yung mangyayari dyan. Okay, so I think that's all for the source transformation. So if you have any problem, superposition, if you have any problem or question about this topic, okay, please ask it to me right after this discussion as soon as possible, okay, para ma-discuss natin. So I think that's also, um, if you have any question, you may just have ask it to me. Okay, so assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.